Okay, it started raining outside, so I've come in, left everybody else to do their bits and pieces. I said I'd review the, let's get rid of that light for a second, there are all of them everywhere. I said I'd review the Extractor from Lumberjack. Because obviously I'm not using the table saw at the moment, because obviously the work I'm doing at the moment is it's all chop saw related. So I said I'd review the Extractor. I've had to make a few modifications to it, which we would, as fish keeping people, will be doing anyway. So things like inch and a half adapters, so the 90-degree ones. I'm trying to see if I've got one here. Well, obviously this is a 2-inch. So what I've done with these, quite literally, is melted that end. I say melted it. I've warmed it up, so I've opened it up a bit, and then what I've done is I've attached it to the back of there, as you can see, so that fits into that attachment, because that attachment basically wasn't big enough. Because of the size of the pipe that's on there, it's quite substantial pipe. It's 4-inch. So this extractor system is the Lumberjack 1200, and it's exactly that. It's a 1200 motor. Obviously there's a bit of dust on it at the moment, because I've been experimenting with cutting with and cutting without, so I can make sure it does exactly what it says on the tin. I'm also going to do a review as well today on the Lumberjack 12-inch chop saw that I bought quite a while ago. Compound slide on it is absolutely fantastic. I do like the handle on it. I think the way that the handle's been done is absolutely fantastic. I really like that. It works really well, and there's a lot of safety features on here as well, which again I like, which you don't normally see on equipment like this. So comes with, it is a double bevel. So for those people that don't know, a double bevel means it will tip both ways, and it's also what they call a compound slide. So you can also do it at an angle that way and that way at exactly the same time. So that gives you a compound cut. I have currently got a piece of 4x4 on there. Now obviously normally be doing sleepers and stuff like that, so they would be 8x4. Fantastic features that are on here as well, which I really do like. So simple ones is the slide itself. Because of the way the slide is designed, I don't lose any depth from the saw in any shape or form. So obviously that's the slide itself. You can see it has been used to that. So you can see the slide on there. I don't lose any depth at all. So I get a full depth cut of 340mm, which for something like this and for the price is really, really good. Also on the back of that, it does come with some really good attachments. So a perfect example is an attachment that I'm fitting on now. I'm trying to do this with 2 hands. So basically it's a clever little piece of kit. So that will lift up, that will move forwards and backwards. I can then move it to wherever I need to do, drop it down, it will go in but it won't come back out, so I can then adjust that. Now very, very simply, the reason for that is for things like when you're putting them on to hold things into position. So if I want to literally hold that into place, I'll just literally tighten that up. That ain't going anywhere. So I've also got, definitely against it, flat against the side. I can also modify the top, so I can use this one to give me down as well. So that will hold everything into position. That'll give me something that's absolutely square. Main reason for using stuff like that, mate, is basically for motor cutting and stuff like that. So what I do like about this system is the way that this is designed. It's designed in such a way that it's actually ingrained into it. It also has what they call a lockout feature. So if I unscrew this and you listen, see, 15 degrees, 22.5, 30. Can you hear me click that clicking? So it means it will always go back to the same position every single time, and then you do the lockout on there. Exactly the same on the back, so you've got a click out on that as well. What I do really like about this is the substantial screw that's located on this side, and that's designed for unscrewing it, and then what you do is you pull this piece out, and then that allows the bevel to drop. And the clicking sound that I've just had does exactly the same for this, so it means I can always go back to the same position every single time. And what that will do then, will give me the standardisation side of it. What I also like about this is it comes with two, if you can see that there, it comes with two lasers. And the two lasers are designed in such a way, if you look, the blade actually sits in between the two. So when it comes down, so when the blade comes down, it sits, that is the line, so that is your blade. So you can measure it either side, an absolutely really good feature on that. It is a 2000 motor, and obviously it's a 305 diameter cutting blade, and you can see I've used that quite substantially. Comes with multiple additional features. I mean, I really do like the feature with this. The reason why I like the feature with this, and I know it sounds silly, but it comes with, if I can show you just underneath there, look, you can see it comes with a safety feature. See that click there, look. I can't push that in any way. It won't allow me to start it. Okay? The only way that I can start it is by physically moving it across and then activating it. That's the only way I can do it. I can't do it any other way. Okay? Also, it's got an automatic, as soon as I push it down, the actual cover comes off, which is absolutely fantastic. The amount of times I've seen on here where you've got to use a flimsy thing here to engage it is an absolute nightmare. Everything's really substantial on it as well, which is really, really good. And I like that. I like those type of features. And what I'm going to do, very, very quickly, I'm just going to undo this, and I'm going to undo this. And I'm just going to, can you just push that piece of wood for me? Okay, thank you. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to lock that out so it can't go anywhere. And I'm going to show you the dust that this makes, even though it's got a pipe on it, the kind of dust that this makes without using extraction. So it's going to be quite loud, so bear with me a second. So you can see the dust that it makes. It's quite dusty, and obviously yeah, the amount of wood that's going to be cut and the way that it's going to be cut, you're going to get a lot of dust like this. That's where the Lumberjack BD1200, as part of the Lumberjack packages, will come in handy. It is designed in such a way that it can be used with all of the Lumberjack equipment. Also, by making that modification to the pipe that I said, and obviously that's just for me, so doing an 1.5 inch pipe, and all I've done with that is I've just put a heat gun on it so I can open that up a little bit, and then I've attached it to that. You can attach a standard hoover to it, and that's pretty much what it's designed to do. But obviously this extractor is what I wanted to use. And obviously because the extractor comes with a 4-inch diameter pipe, it then comes into a 2-inch attachment that goes there, and then that has got multiple attachments to it. And there's 4 attachments, all different sizes, to meet all of the different Lumberjack tools. So for argument's sake, table saw's got a 2-inch connection. This has got a 1.5 inch connection, so the adaptions are easily done. So that's fantastic. There's a switch on the front of it, which okay, it is what it is. It's a 1200. It's a 1200 motor on it. It's quite powerful. So what I like about it, quite plain and simple, is when I turn it on. Again, it is quite loud, so just bear with me a second. I'm just going to turn it on now by switching the switch on. And as you can see from that, just turn that off. And as you can see from that, virtually no dust in any shape or form, which is really, really good. So let me give you the positives of it first. So obviously it's really good when it comes to extracting dust. Absolutely fantastic. All of the attachments for all the different lumberjack tools is a good thing. I don't have a problem with that at all. It comes at £109 for the extractor itself, which when you think out there, you can have the Mighty Mate, you can have the Trade 4 hoovers, you can have the wet and dry hoovers. They're retailing around the £240 mark. You've got the Titan you can get from Screwfix, very, very small piece for around the £49. I've burnt 3 of them out. So if I burnt 3 out, we'll call 50 quid, that's 150 quid I've wasted straight away. And then obviously all the different ones. And obviously because it's being used in here all the time, well I say all the time, as and when it's being used, it's a really, really good system. The downsides, so obviously with every positive there is a negative. So did I really need to modify that to fit that? Not really. But I still had to do it, so that's one thing. The other one is, and I suppose it can be modified, but for me, if you notice, I had to turn the switch on to activate it, to use the saw. What I would have liked, and which would have been a really fantastic feature, is if I could have plugged in the Lumberjack saw to the extractor, and then obviously the extractor then to the power supply. The reason why I'm saying that then is when I activate the saw, that would come in automatically. Now, I'm not saying that it's an issue in any shape or form. It's not. Obviously, it's just 2 switches and 2 power sources. But by having a plug built to that, then potentially it's only 1 plug that goes to the power source instead of 2, so obviously it's a saving. The other thing as well, and again, it's only a minor thing, but it's something that could affect a few other people. This doesn't come with any wheels. So if you've got a small workshop, one of the biggest problems that you'd have then is obviously you're wheeling everything in and out. And because it's got no wheels on, you've just got to lift it up and you've got to take it. But it'd be easier if it was on wheels. Also, a lot of the other extractors, like your Titans, like your Trade for hoovers and stuff like that, they all do come with wheels. So I think that would be a fantastic feature on that could be used on in the next generation. What I do also like about this that I've never actually seen before is on, like I said, like the Titans and everything else, they come with clips either side and you undo the clips and then you lift it off. This actually comes with, you know, like your pressure type connections that we see on pressure filters and stuff like that. It comes with one of those. So literally, think of it as a modified drum that's had the top taken off it, and then obviously then it's been locked in. So I really do, I like the way they do that. I like obviously everything. The main thing that I like about this and the saw is the substantial handles and things like that. Everything's made to quality. Going back to the Lumberjack saw, so I have seen a saw like this called the SIP. Obviously, if you look at it online, and it's spelled SIP, when you look at it online, it's got exactly the same stuff at the top. Yeah, it's got a few different attachments and a few bits, but it's got exactly the same bed, it's got exactly the same slides and everything else. And you're talking 400 quid. This, and to be fair, I did have a small discount on it, but that, you know, I'm giving you a fair, honest review on everything that I'm showing you on here. And I paid for that via eBay originally, and that's how I got into Toolsave in the first place, and I paid £199 for that. And that is a 12-inch diameter cutting blade on it. Now, obviously, when you go to the Toolsave website, and it is exactly that, it is called Toolsave. So if you go on the Toolsave website, you will see these. You will also see the extractors, and the extractors come in different shapes and sizes and everything else. But like I said, the extractor retails at, I think it's £109, I think that's what I paid for it as well. I paid £109. And obviously that's £199. So I also like on here as well all the little tiny lockout features. So, and they're really, really good as well. You know, little tiny touchy things. So all the touchy-feely stuff, which is really, really good. Everything, you know, if you look at it, everything's done in such a way you can get your thumb nice and comfortably in there. You can get your finger in, which will allow you to get a good purge on it. This does exactly the same. Puts you in a position where you've got a good purge on it. You know what I mean? The slide in here has got built-in bearings, which I've never seen before, which I think is really, really good. Not only that, it gives you a really, really good slide. So if you look, listen, you can actually hear the bearings. It's actually absolutely brilliant. Like I said, so the Extractor's really, really good. Really sucks. I mean, you can tell the amount of power. For the simple reason is, if you watch this pipe, as soon as I turn the power on, I'm going to lose sound again. That just speaks for itself. I mean, that's a 4-inch pipe. So obviously, the amount of compression that is going from 4-inch into a 2-inch, into an 1.5 inch, and pure suction, that's just, it's taking everything away. Like I said, I wanted to experiment, first of all, to show you what it looks like when I ain't using an extractor. And to be fair, sometimes you can be quite lazy, and I am very lazy when it comes to stuff like this. That's the reason why I'm big. And obviously you can see that there's quite a bit of sawdust on there and stuff like that. But obviously I'm going to start using the extractor now. Bearing in mind, this has only been, this extractor, he is less than a week old. And obviously the reason why that wood's being used, further down the line, I'm going to be experimenting with a table saw using a piece of 4-inch. And I want to see whether the table saw is man enough, because that'll be the test for me. I want to be able to cut it literally corner to corner, and I'm going to use the table saw to do that. That's going to be my plan with that. The reason for that is when I start building the sleeper ponds in the greenhouse, I'm going to be putting those on the corners. Because I've got a little bit of an experiment that I've got this idea of, I've seen rain ponds and the way the pressure, so when they put the pump water in and stuff, you get a really good flow. Obviously when you've got a square pond or you've got a rectangle pond, basically what it's doing is it's hitting the corner and it's slightly reducing the flow, so it'll go into the next corner, slightly reduce it, goes to the next corner, slightly reduce it. By the time it gets back, the flow's quite reduced, if you like. So what I want to do is I want to actually take the corners off the sleeper ponds, and then when it's fiberglassed, hopefully I'll get a decent flow on that as well. So I want to experiment using the table saw and the extractor to do the two together, and I'll do that hopefully in a couple of weeks' time. So that's the simple review on the 1200 extractor and the Lumberjack saw. To be fair, and you can see I'll just quickly show you now. I'm going to be honest with you, this workshop's in a right mess at the moment, so please bear with me. So as you can see, I've got the Parkside that's over there, and obviously I've got all the Parkside tools. Yeah, I've got another one over there, but that's slightly different. I've got some, obviously you can see the Parkside batteries and stuff that's on there. So you can see I'm using different saws to do different things. And at the moment, I keep talking to people about 5S, and it's a bit of a car crash in it at the moment, but it is what it is until I can get things sorted. So yeah, so that's a very, very simple, blunt review on the Lumberjack saw and the extractor. I will give you a warning. Now obviously this Lumberjack saw is 12-inch diameter, so it's 305 millimeters, okay, and it's 2 kilowatts, so the motor is massive on it, which, you know, it speaks for itself. If you're using this in a shed, be careful with the fuse box, or be careful how you set it up, because obviously there's a big drawer on these. So what you will see is either your fuse box inside your shed might not be powerful enough, and that's no reflection to the Lumberjack saw in any way. It's just that obviously it needs a lot of power to get it started straight up. You can also get this as well. You can also Lumberjack saw in 110, so it's 240 and 110, and obviously that that can be taken to sites and do bits and pieces with that. Or obviously if you're in a house and use an extension lead's fine as well. Just obviously if you're coming straight off the house into the extension lead into the saw, obviously it's not a problem at all. The only reason why I'm actually saying it is for the simple reason is somebody might be having it in a shed and they've got a small fuse box in there. I don't know, they've got 18 amp, 4 amp or whatever that fuse board they've got in there that it's linked into for the power supply, because obviously power in there. Concern that what I'm actually saying is that sometimes if you activate the saw, lights will start to flicker, or if you try to use it for a generator or something like that, for argument's sake, lights will flicker. Just like that. So that's my review on this. It is true, it is honest, and it does do exactly what it says on the tin. Like I said, the company I've had this from is the UK distributor for Lumberjack, and that company is called Toolsafe, and they are in the Manda Industrial Estate in Wolverhampton. It's a fantastic team there, good customer services and good feedback, and if you have a problem in any shape or form, customer services is second to none. I had a small problem with I forgot to get some bags to go with the Extractor. Just forgot to get them, so I'll give them a bell. So look, I'm on my way down. I forgot the bags. Yeah, no problem at all. Went down there, literally 5 minutes ago. Yeah. Oh, don't forget you forgot this as well, which was the blades. So little tiny silly things like that, they're straight away. And as soon as you get there, they literally, oh yeah, you phoned a couple of minutes ago, yeah, brilliant, absolutely. So look, I've waffled on enough. Toolsafe, Manda Industrial Estate. Off the top of my head, I don't know what the number is. I'm sorry, Toolsafe, I do apologise. But if you Google Toolsafe Wolverhampton, it will come straight up with the telephone number. At some stage, I will try and organise a discount code through them if they'll allow me to do that. But what I would say is, if you go down there and just say Mad Dog sent you, hopefully they'll look after you anyway. I actually think they will help you anyway at all. So yeah, just turn around and say Mad Dog sent you. Okay, right, so that's, like I said, that's the review on that. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for your time, thanks for your watching. As usual, be safe, see you soon.